in just a second to bring this march in solidarity with the People's Climate Movement that's happening in Washington, D.C. I think it's 90 degrees in Washington, D.C., so we are at the right place at the right time in beautiful Montana. And there's somewhere around 400 other marches happening today, all in solidarity with the need to move on climate. So we started talking a couple of months ago around wanting to do something here in Missoula or in Montana, and there was a bit of serendipity because Katie Weisskiver and the SAVE group said, we want to help, we want to be part of this. And just as they said that, we were also thinking that we would love young people to be the voice of the movement, because that is what we need. They inspire us, they are leaders, and it is time to give them a voice. So we've been working with SAVE, and we're going to hear from SAVE, but also from some students from University of Montana, and also Big Sky High School and Loyola, and there's a whole number of folks we're going to hear even from some middle school kids up here in just a minute. So first of all, I wanted to, again, thank everyone for coming out. Thank MCAT, who I believe is here. And I'm going to go through quickly the list of co-sponsors. 350 Montana, Citizens Climate Lobby, Climate Change Studies Program at UM, Conservation Hawks, Endangered Species Coalition, Forward Montana, Free Cycles, Lake County Democrats, League of Conservation Voters, Loyola Green Club, Montana Environmental Information Center, MEIC, MELT, Missoula Elders for a Livable Tomorrow, Mission Mountain Audubon Society, Moms Clean Air Force, Montana Audubon, Montpurg, Montana Chapter of the Sierra Club, Montana Conservation Voters, MUD, National Wildlife Federation, Protect Our Winners, and Reinvest Montana. So wonderful for so many folks to come together. And again, if you know some of the folks on this list, we'll hear from them. But some of these are, again, groups like Forward Montana and Montpurg that work with young people and get them involved in electoral politics and conservation issues and making the planet and the world and their communities a better place. So that is super exciting. And so what we're going to do is we're going to just run through a handful of different speakers. And if you guys can hear, come on up a little closer. And the first group that's going to speak are some the students from Hellgate Save. And Katie, I think you're going to introduce.
Hi, I'm Katie Weisgeiber. This is Molly. She won't be speaking today. Okay, really close. Sorry. I'm Katie Weisgeiber. Molly won't be speaking today. I want to throw out a few quick thank yous. Thank you so much to Climate Smart. They really are behind this. We owe today to them, not only for their continued support in our community, but especially Amy Sillenberg and Haley Jorgensen. And really, Haley did this today. So let's have a round of applause for Haley. Buy her a barley soda this evening if you see her. Thanks to YMCA and Orbis actually for their support. We thought maybe when we called, Orbis would say we're a big corporation. We're sharing Missoula with them today. A lot of different activities going on, and they were excited and enthusiastic about supporting us. So thank you to them. Thank you to our community, whether it's individuals or businesses. Anytime that we, especially I'm speaking as an advisor of the Save Club, but anytime we need anything, our community steps up, whether it's fundraiser, donations. So God, we're so lucky to be in a community like Missoula. We had Earth Day presentations last week, and we had the Montana Wilderness Association, Climate Smart, Clark Fork Coalition, Melt, and Home Resource presented, and it's just an amazing thing to be a part of, and we're so thankful for this community. Really, it's companies like Home Resource and Free Cycles that make sure that their goal isn't just to make a profit, but to provide jobs and to give back to their community and their environment. And it really makes you think that if sustainability is possible, it no doubt is going to come from communities like Missoula. We have to be the example and show not only our nation, but to step in and help with other communities around the world to show that not only is this possible, but it is worth it, and this is working. And so finally, as I introduce, I would like to take a moment to say thank you to the amazing students at Hellgate High School in the Save Club, but they are representative of any students and their commitment, young people's commitment to climate change. It really is a pleasure to work with such dedicated humans. At Hellgate, Save does the recycling. Not only do they fundraise for it and pay for the recycling, but these students go down every Tuesday and they have bins all around the school and they collect them, and then they spread it out and go through everybody's trash just to make sure that we are recycling everything that we can. Woo! You guys don't get enough thanks for going through the trash. So they're going on to partner with our community in all kinds of different endeavors, and thank you Hellgate students. And really working with you guys reminds us every day that to make better choices and to make a bigger effort, and that this is worth it. So thanks to them, thanks to you, and because of our shared vision, we're hoping that one day we can say thanks to us, we made a difference. And thanks Missoula.
Hi, I'm Anna Tawalski. I'm a junior at Hellgate, and I'm a member of SAVE. So, as millennials, many of us often feel as though our voices are being suppressed. Stereotypes cloud people's perspectives, so as high school students, an average-sized city in Montana, it's easy to find ourselves feeling trapped and as though there isn't much we can do to combat such an extreme problem as climate change. We are here today, however, to prove that the youth's voices are an essential factor in uniting the local and national communities. A majority of us grew up here with memories of hiking amongst the flowers or in the Rattlesnake Wilderness during the summer, skiing at Snowball in the winters, and swimming in the Clark Fork, experiences that are so valuable when aging and maturing. None of us want these opportunities to disappear, and one of the most important lessons I've learned as a member of SAVE is that we don't have to start by changing the entire global community when we can start right here at home. It all begins with one can being recycled instead of thrown away, one high school club connecting with the city's environmental coalitions, and one city and state coming together on a Saturday to march for what we believe in. After that, we can reach further and further, never letting down until the necessary decisions are made for positive change. Another factor that is often difficult is that a majority of us high schoolers cannot vote. Whether you be left or right or anywhere in between, we all have only one earth to share. I ask you to always keep your representatives' views on environmental policies in mind, because while we cannot vote, many of you can. It brightens my heart to see everyone here today for a common cause, as unity is the strongest force when adversity strikes. Thank you all for your efforts, and remember that we will always be here to inspire those of all ages to take action.
Hello, I'm Esther Lyon Del Sordo. I'm also part of Save Club. So I want to thank all of you climate marchers for gathering here today and making such a powerful show of solidarity. This is amazing. So as a student at Hellgate High School, I'm representing Students Against Violating the Environment, or SAVE, and I'm so honored to be up here right now because sustainability means a lot to me, and I know it does to all of you too. Save Club has helped me take this passion of mine and use it to instigate actual change, because I have a great team of dedicated people to share my dreams with, and together we can accomplish great things. Over the years, we have installed a solar panel on the roof of our school and successfully managed a garden, a large recycling program, and Earth Week activities such as a trash and show featuring fashion styled from items normally headed to the landfill. And alone, none of us could have accomplished such great things. It is crucial that we organize in our group to strengthen our voices as we call for environmental justice. And just like students of Hellgate, it is important that we as Montanans, we as Americans, unite across generations, across disciplines, across physical, economic, and ideological barriers to add our voices to the growing stream that is the march towards solving climate change. This is an issue that does not discriminate. We are one nation, one planet, one all breathing together under the same burning sun. It is only by gathering, organizing, and uniting in the name of global justice that we will succeed. This movement has come so far thanks to all of you out there. And in the face of growing obstacles, it is my goal to remind all of you of the long way we still have to tread, and that yes, we can get there. Thank you.
Hi guys, my name is Ren Sillenberg. I am also from Hellgate Save, and I'm just going to talk a little bit about the role that environmental activism has played in my life, and maybe about the role it can play in yours too. So my family has always been pretty into the outdoors. We love to ski and hike and stuff, and it was things like that that inspired me and three of my friends to create a group. This was when we were about 9 or 10 years old, and we created a group called SOAP, which stands for Save Our Amazing Planet. And that was our goal, to save the planet. It was a pretty big goal, but we didn't really realize the magnitude at 9 years old. So we started small with things like lemonade stands and bake sales, and we always donated all of the profits we made. And as I've grown older, the organization has grown too. We've expanded to doing things like fundraiser dinners, and we have an annual summer camp for younger kids where we teach them about keeping the planet safe, and we also donate all the money from that too. And then when we got into high school, we all joined SAVE, of course, and we've also been really active members of that. Right now, we're actually in the process of installing a composting system at Hellgate High School. And as I mentioned, so when we first started SOAP, our goal was to save the planet, but we've realized that that's pretty hard to do without some help. So today, I'm asking you guys to help us. And one thing that we've done as a fun activity for SOAP, we did a muffin giveaway once, where we gave away free muffins, but in exchange, people had to promise to do one thing that they didn't already do to help the environment. And that's what I'm asking you to do today. I don't have any muffins, but I'm asking for your help. And while small things are great, like taking shorter showers or recycling more, using the backs of paper, I'm asking you guys to do something bigger. Maybe if you don't have solar panels, install solar panels. Or if you already do, help a friend. Volunteer at a local organization. One of these organizations that help sponsor this event are all really great organizations, and they all need help. And if all of you guys and all of your friends help to do this, I truly believe that we can save the planet.
Hello, my name is Barrett Wallace and I'm in 7th grade.
Hi, my name is Sydney Young and I am in 5th grade.
We believe that climate change will greatly affect our generation and the generations to come. Every one of us is contributing to climate change in one way or another. Our president is shutting down government organizations that are helping to educate us as the people of the U.S. on this subject.
Every one of us can make a difference. A small act can go a long way. Whether it's biking more or educating others, you can always help in larger ways too. All of you are helping educate the Missoula community right now by coming here, also voting for politicians who support climate change action.
Our country is producing greenhouse gases by burning fossil fuels. This isn't the only way to generate energy, but it does cause the most pollution. Montana has the potential for helping address this by building wind farms and using solar-powered energy.
We hope that our country will realize the dangers of not acting on the challenge of climate change, and solving this problem will start with you. It is our responsibility to change our situation, to help the animals, the planet's habitat, and the future generations.
We hope our political leaders will listen to the voices of kids and think about the needs of future generations, here and all over the world.
Let's save our planet. After all, it's the only planet that has puppies.
Thank you, Sydney and Barrett. That is just wonderful. From 5th graders, we've got all the way up through high school. We're going to hear from more high school students in just a minute. I think we have at least a couple University of Montana students. And I just want to say, some of them that we'd hoped to come today, they just couldn't because they're studying for exams and they've got work and they're just really busy. But they have an amazing university with a climate change studies program. I think Nikki Fear might be in here. She runs it. There are other professors here today. And we really appreciate how the university is connected to a whole bunch of different groups and students and along the way. So thanks to everybody in the university, from the university that's here. And I think Casey Brandon is here first. And Jess De La Rosa.
What's up, guys? What a beautiful day to be alive today. What's up? I get a little nervous with public speaking, so I'd like to tell a joke real quick. What did the grape do when it got crushed? It let out a little wine. Yeah, it did. All right. Okay. As Amy said, my name is Casey Brandon. I'm a second-year environmental studies student and climate change studies student too as well. Shout out to Nikki Fear. I saw her over there. I think one of the first and one of the only climate change studies programs in the country, so that's very cool. Let's see. I grew up in Eugene, Oregon. Very similar kind of place to Missoula. A lot of hippies, pretty liberal. But you know, my family was pretty outdoorsy growing up, so I did a lot of stuff outside, and I kind of knew what I was passionate about. I was passionate about the environment, climate change, you know, making people know it was real. So I came here to, you know, put that passion into education and learn more. And so as you can imagine, a couple months ago when our president got elected, who denies climate change, I was pretty distraught, you know. It was like, dang, what am I gonna do in the future? How am I gonna get a job? I was pretty hopeless. But so I went to bed, kind of like cried myself to sleep a little bit that night. But I kind of, the next few weeks, you know, there were a lot of action, marches like this going around. I started to realize, like, you know what, I'm actually more passionate now that he's our president. We got to just make people realize, like, climate change is real. This is like, we're the generation. And there are a ton of young people here right now, and that's super cool, myself included. I mean, a ton of kids, like, that is awesome to see. That's what we need. Also, so growing up in Eugene, there were a lot of like-minded people, and same here in Missoula. You kind of talk to a lot of people that are similar and share views like you. But what I've come to realize is it's really important to talk to people that don't share those views. And, you know, because their opinions are just as valid as yours. And while it seems like there's kind of a big disconnect in our country right now, and I think the good way to you know, break down that disconnect is just to listen to people and learn why they feel the way they do, because their reasons are just as valid as yours. And I think that's important in making change in our country. And also, before I let Jess speak a little bit, yeah, listen and just spread the love. Like, smile at people on the street, say hi to them, open the door for them. Little stuff like that makes my day. That's kind of not related to climate change, but still, like, do that. I mean, just being friendly, spreading the love, I think that's really important in our country right now. And listen to people and talk to people who don't share your views. And thank you all for showing up. Like, awesome. Awesome.
Thank you, Casey. My name is Jess Della Rosa. I am also a student at the university, graduating in a couple weeks. Yeah, thank you. I study resource conservation and climate change studies, just like Casey. Great program. Super cool to be in the College of Forestry, being alongside people who don't always have the same views as how we should be using our land. But one thing we can all connect on is that we need to be doing the right thing to save our planet right now. And I think that's a really big theme across the entire university, but also this town. Like, thank you guys for being here today and showing your support. Thank you for making posters. Young people, old people, we're all here together, and we all need to raise our voices for this cause. One thing, I work for Montana Conservation Voters, and as Casey was kind of talking about when he got a little down on the fact that Trump is our president, yeah, it is hard to say. I was feeling that way too, and in January, right after we had the inauguration, I went to our state legislature, and I was able to see the changes that our people, Montanans, are making. And it's so important for each and every one of you to talk to your representatives, talk to your senator in your districts. Also talk to Senator Tester, talk to Senator Daines, thank them for doing the right thing. Ask them why they voted no on things that you thought were important. Ask Daines why he voted for Scott Pruitt. Like, our senators need to know what our voices are, and the only way they're going to do that is if you contact them, if you connect with them. They want to know what Montanans do because they love Montana just as much as we do. So that is my little spiel for the day. Go vote and go Grizz!
Okay, is there anybody else from UM that wanted to speak, to talk to me? I'm not sure if everybody's here. Jesse DeRozier? Not sure if you made it. Okay, we're gonna jump on, then we're gonna jump over to Loyola. And I think there's 4 students here from Loyola Green Club. Come on up. And if you guys are tired, you can sit down. Just keep close to you.
Hi, I'm Faith Kukla. And I'm Audrey Pettit, and we are the presidents of Loyola's Green Club. Our main initiative is we work to encourage environmental consciousness within our school and community. We are small but mighty. We only started last year.
And we have already run a clothing drive, a cell phone drive, and we control all of the plastic and aluminum recycling in our school.
We have many plans for the future, which includes energy-efficient light bulbs and recyclable bowls within our cafeteria. We also want to work to raise awareness within our community, and I think this is a step in the right direction with this climate march. So, today we have a speech given by myself and our Vice President, Caroline Stahl, and a poem given by Janie Albrecht and Julia Johnson. So, I actually need a script because if I were to just talk, I would babble a lot, so.
When I was 6 years old, winter seemed to last forever. Snow hit the ground in November and didn't stop falling until mid-March. Now the winters feel shorter.
This isn't just a part of growing up. Data proves this was one of the warmest winters in American history. Suddenly, rain and slush replaced snow angels and snowmen.
But it wasn't sudden. Human-caused climate change has plagued our planet for decades. Our generation is only the first to experience its repercussions. For many, the effects are far more devastating than a shorter ski season. As a child, I couldn't recognize my privilege.
This winter, Typhoon Nok-10 hit the Philippines, displacing 700,000 people, many of them children. Flooding in eastern China destroyed 40,000 houses, leaving families without a home. More than half of all natural disasters linked to our changing climate. These events offer a glimpse into our children's possible future. Entire countries flooded, species driven to extinction, even more disasters forcing people to seek refuge away from home. We have the opportunity and the ability to change our fate. Our generation could mark a turning point if we rise to the occasion.
Progress has been made. We've tripled our wind energy and increased solar power 20-fold. Last year marked the United States' lowest level of carbon emissions since 1991. Our advancements should give us hope.
But we cannot rest on hope alone. To truly create global change, we must begin here, in the Missoula community.
Our community has the privilege to live in an area relatively unaffected by the current extremities of climate change. This provides the ability to make change for ourselves and for the global community.
Don't let the movement end with this march. Our generation is the first to experience the consequences of climate change.
Yes. And the last with the opportunity to make a difference.
And I will turn it over to Janie and Julia.
Hi, we wrote a slam poem because we were kind of angry.
Oh wait, I know about being angry.
Okay. Trees do not have tongues to speak for themselves, believe it or not. Lungs sprung from deep within their roots, the songs they've sung for thousands of years, hung on branches full of fruit we've now flung into our waste baskets. All that we've done is leave a mess for someone else to clean up. And the trees cling on to the hope that one day they can sing again. And while we drive our pickup trucks to school with no reason but to look cool, we risk the lives of our mother, the earth.
She spoke in happy tears of rain, but now her mouth runs dry and burns flames that paint the forest black. She breathes in over 10,000 pounds of carbon dioxide every year from a single car. She's choked with the levels of poison we feed into her lungs. She can't escape into the oceans either. Today, the ocean sings to poachers. In clear words, please don't hurt the whales. A chorus of cries as it watches oil spilling in. Whales, the purest of the pure, relocating and dying because oil companies see the melting icebergs as an opportunity rather than a travesty.
You, with your seismic blasting, see the cup as half full, but not with happiness, half full of wealth. The whales relocate with fear of their habitats ruined.
Imagine them as your own children. Feel the way their blubber shudders look into the apples of their eyes and tell me that they deserve this. Look into their eyes and listen to their sobs. We cannot understand what they say, but this music is a ballad of suffering and love. Feel their hearts beating, pumping the blood that pumps the oil as your pipelines pump the money into your hands. Hold the flimsy paper and laugh at the way that they cower in fear, sad, left alone, dying. Imagine them as your own children. Crush their hearts in your hands.
Don't tell me that the earth will not be different in a few years. Soon enough, there won't be enough water. The winters grow shorter and shorter, but the wealthy trip takers ski past the problems in front of them like a rock in the snow because they'd rather not scratch their newly waxed skis on the effects of our trucks on the ozone.
We hum the songs that are sung by the trees, a tune sung by many before us, swaying to the rhythm, but our branches do not move. We have tongues, mouths to speak, hands and feet to move and breathe, yet our tongues are choked out by greed.
We hear the cries of our fallen brothers and sisters everywhere. Let us join together, hand and wing and fin and branch, and keep moving forward. Release our tongues from the cage they've been locked in, and shaking our branches.
Today, we have all come together to raise awareness on climate change.
How cool is that?
We talk about the most important thing in the entire world because it is our world. We used our poem to express the darkness that is happening and will continue to happen if we don't try and stop global warming from getting worse than it already is. We encourage you to look up more statistics, more facts showing that climate change is real for anyone who doesn't believe in it, because our president isn't going to help us in our fight. He is so focused on boosting our economy that he doesn't consider the fact that when our natural resources run out, we will have nothing left for the economy to run on.
Now, Trump has instructed Interior Secretary Ryan Zinke to determine if 40 national parks need protection anymore. Through our votes, actions, and inactions, we all leave our footprints on this world. As many people before us have said, action must be taken to fight for our planet. Whether it's a big or small action is up to you, but nonetheless, your footprint will exist. Our goal was not to make you feel powerless, but instead to bring to light some of the resulting inactions every part of our world, socially, economically, and most importantly, environmentally. And how even the smallest actions to try and stop global warming in small but impactful ways, or to bring awareness to other people about the severity of climate change can help. Our last questions for you are, what do you want your footprint to be? And most importantly,
will you keep marching forward in this movement? Join with us in hand, in feet, in wing, and branch while we still have the chance. Thank you for your time.
Wow, you guys are really smart, really brave, and really inspiring. Thank you so much. So we're gonna, we have another high school student from Big Sky High School, Everett. Come on up.
Can you guys hear me? Yeah. Hello, Missoula. My name is Everett, and I'm speaking on behalf of a student group from Big Sky High School called Free Us from Climate Chaos. This June 12th through the 16th at the University of Montana, we are hosting a symposium on critical thinking in the face of climate catastrophe. We are collaborating with a list of some of the most respected intellectuals and activists, including Noam Chomsky, George Monbiot, Henry Giroux, Nancy Holmstrom, Derek Jensen, John Holloway, Bill McKibben, and many more. Our symposium is open to all, and we expect all who are concerned about the dire situation our world is in to come and participate and challenge themselves on all their current notions about how we are going to change the world. Please go to our website, freeusfromclimatechaos.org, to sign up and register to participate in our workshops. Now, I'd like to thank the organizers for this opportunity to speak. To date, the voices of the young, like other marginalized communities, have been noticeably absent with the so-called climate movement. This despite the fact that it is our lives which will be most profoundly affected. And not just by a warming planet, but by the entire legacy of ecological devastation left to us by the adult world. Soil fertility, clean water, collapsing fisheries. I won't even mention the social ills, which are vast and horrific. I only wish climate change was the only threat to my future. I say so-called climate movement because it remains unclear to me and my fellow students whether any coherent strategy for cooling the planet back down actually exists. It's also unclear whether events such as this actually demonstrate our strength or our feebleness. Yes, there are large numbers gathered in Washington, D.C. today and other major cities around the world, and yes, they are genuinely outraged at this particular moment. But the Conservation Foundation sponsored a conference on climate change in 1963. The first Earth Day was 47 years ago. The first United Nations Conference of Parties was in 1995, and beyond a cosmetic veneer, the reforms of the past 35 years have been a monstrous failure. Kyoto protocols, 21 different UN COP conferences, cap and trade, and many more half measures and decaffeinated solutions. All of these moments have come and gone until we have reached a point where the very market forces responsible for chaos have become our last hope, according to the champions of the climate movement, where more production and consumption and a booming economy is the tragic limit of our vision. Yet the last 3 years have set 3 new records for climate global temperatures. It was just reported from the labs in Mauna Loa, Hawaii, that we have reached 400 parts per million of CO2 in the atmosphere. ExxonMobil now runs the State Department with Rex Tillerson. A major advocate against the EPA is now running the EPA. Transportation is now the leading source of CO2 emissions in the United States. Obama's drill baby drill, frack the hell out of our land fossil fuel program has cut fuel costs in half. We are encouraging people to drive more and buy bigger gas hogs. Gasoline consumption broke all records in the United States last year. It's too much. We call bullshit. We may be young, but we're not stupid. And we are losing our patience and our confidence that anyone is ready to do what needs to be done to avoid the end of life on Earth. We're exhausted by platitudes. At our young age, we are already profoundly weary and cynical about all the happy talk of just transitions and sacred spaces. We know that returns on investments have nothing to do with justice. We know that in a growth-addicted system, all that is sacred is profaned. With 7 billion people on this planet, we know we cannot all have our cake and eat it too. With all the demands we hear being made today to keep it in the ground, to build a smart grid, to begin a World War II style climate mobilization, renewable energy, we wonder, or else what? If your demands are ignored as they are always ignored, what are you prepared to do to defend our futures, even our very lives? How will you respond to the insane levels of violence? Because that's what ecocide is. Violence right here, right now. How will you protect us? Will you march and install solar panels and buy electric cars? Or are you prepared to use any means necessary? Will you continue to defend and try to reform capitalist democracy even as new corporate logos are installed on each branch of government? Will you just focus on jobs for the American middle class, or will you pay back the climate debt the US owes to so much of the rest of the world and my future? In Naomi Klein's recent book on climate change, she did not title the book, "This Changes Some Things," but instead, "This Changes Everything." She also did not say this is a conflict of climate versus carbon, but instead, climate versus capitalism. We are challenging the so-called environmental movement, 350.org, and anyone who truly appreciates the actual implications of 410 parts per million to join us in this critical thought. Join us in Critical Thought this June with Noam Chomsky and Company to break free from an obviously untenable analysis that thinks renewable energy alone is a desirable outcome, despite the predictions that Earth's population will reach 10 billion by 2050. Can 10 billion people consume at the level we as US citizens do? No. What in an economy which requires growth is to prevent renewable wind or even fourth generation nuclear power from operating immediately beside coal-powered energy? What cultural or systemic change is significant enough to prevent the capitalists of the future from burning coal that is profitable? I've heard it said that people today can more easily imagine the end of the world than an end to capitalism. Unfortunately, this isn't an option for me as a young person who wants to have this moment in my future to own a home, raise a family, and grow old. Free us from climate chaos. Thank you. Yeah.
ClimateChaos.org. Join them in June. You guys are smart and you're brave and you're inspiring. And this is a wonderful range of students and ideas and perspectives up here. Thank you so much. It's awesome to hear. We have been challenged. Note that, we've been challenged. Okay, so we've got, actually, how many people are here from north of Missoula, like the Mission Valley, Lake County, of that area? We got some people from there. Woo! Bozeman, people from East. Woo! I heard rumor that somebody was here from Idaho. Anybody from Idaho? I don't know, that's what I heard. Maybe it's some other state. People are here from all over Montana and maybe even further afield. And so thank you for coming. And we also have a representative of a high school group that they couldn't be here, but all the way from Red Lodge. Caitlin, come on up.
Thank you, Amy. Hello, everyone. My name is Caitlin Essig, and I am a co-sponsor for the Red Lodge High School Green Team. Thank you so much for letting me be here today and speak on behalf of what we've been doing in Eastern Montana, and hopefully will motivate all of you guys here in Missoula. And we are so motivated by all of you, so thank you for coming out here today. Last year, we were approached by Farmers Insurance to apply for a $100,000 grant, and this grant was for any high school project, any school project. And so the other teacher who runs the green team with me decided that we would apply for a wind turbine to go on our campus. A 100-foot turbine, to be exact. So we went through the process. We had a ton of community organizing and had a great time discussing it in our community. Unfortunately, due to our size, we did not win the grant, but it was an awesome opportunity for all of us to get together, and now we're having conversations in our community about renewable energy, which would have never happened otherwise. Yeah. So I'm really happy regardless, and hopefully in a couple of years or somewhere down the road, we will have some sort of wind energy. And we're also getting 72 solar panels installed on our high school at the end of June. So lots of good things happening. So the high school green team, they wrote just a small little presentation for me to hopefully motivate the high school and younger kids here and pretty much everyone, and just know that we are all in this together. So, being on the wind turbine committee was an eye-opening experience. This experience started as an idea and ended up being one of the most inspiring projects of our high school careers. In short, we were offered a donation in the form of a 65-kilowatt wind turbine from EDF Renewables. We spent most of the year trying to obtain funding to actually transport the turbine to Montana from California. We learned an unbelievable amount about the technology and logistics of wind energy. We also learned how to campaign for a cause and graciously navigate conflict. Though we encountered much unexpected resistance, we are proud to have been the founding members of this project. It was amazing as young people to see the influence we have on our community if we stand up for and promote what we know is to be good and right. There may not be a wind turbine standing on the campus of Red Lodge High School anytime soon. However, we students and our advisors started something big. We left a legacy for the younger students to continue. We sparked the debate of allowing renewable energy sources within city limits and got people thinking about what they could do on a smaller scale to reduce their impact on the climate. We were truly inspired by the number of people who really do care about the environment and wish to bring healthy change into the world. To students pursuing projects in your school districts, one piece of advice we would give to you is don't get discouraged. Take the obstacles in stride and use the criticism to make your initiative stronger. There are always going to be obstacles that slow down your process, but always keep going and believe in the overall outcome of the project. In the end, regardless of whether your project comes to fruition, the experiences you have and the knowledge that you did what you knew to be right and will make it all worthwhile in the end. Thank you so much.
Okay, we just got a few more folks that are scheduled to speak here. Hannah, where's Hannah with Forward Montana? Come on up.
Hi, my name's Hannah Gale. I'm a sophomore at the University of Montana. I'm also a member of Reinvest Montana and 350 Montana. They're here today, so you should check them out. But today I'm here to speak for Forward Montana Foundation, which is a nonpartisan voter registration group that encourages young people to be active in their communities. That being said, climate change shouldn't be a partisan issue. This affects all of us. So I grew up in Ravalli County, which is a really conservative area. In high school, I was quickly labeled to be an eccentric liberal kid, and I would get dismissed in classes by my peers, who were unwilling to listen to or respect dissenting opinions. 4 years of being silenced made me to believe that my thoughts weren't valid. So naturally, after I graduated, my first year of college was in North Dakota. The same thing happened there. I remember getting shut down by my peers and the occasional professor. I felt small and hopeless, unheard and disregarded. How can you make change if you don't have a voice? Tired of feeling voiceless, I decided to come back home and continue college at the University of Montana. Here, I was able to develop a better sense of self and grow intellectually. I felt validated as I was in a space that would allow me to be heard, surrounded by individuals aware of the issues of the world, filled with the same passion and dedication. I had found my voice, but now what to do with it? Philip Gourevitch wrote that denouncing evil is a far cry from doing good. So I chose to act and become involved. In a time where climate deniers and people who make profit from extractions in the earth rely on our silence, I urge you to find your voice. Yes. In a time where facts regarding climate change are disputed and the fossil fuel industry wages war on science through political oppression and market domination, manufacturing consent for destruction by manipulating data for the sake of profit over people, we must speak. Yes. People have power, and when we unite and our voices speak together as one, change occurs. For example, Missoula just divested from Wells Fargo. Reinvest Montana just had the longest sit-in on campus history for fossil fuel divestment. 350 Montana has been working towards the transfer to renewable energy, most recently showing support for a bill preventing Northwestern Energy from passing on some of its costs to customers. We are not small. We are not alone, and we have a real opportunity to make a difference. I joined Forward Montana because they give people the tools to exercise their voice. By registering the next generation and by making an effort to reach out to marginalized and low-income people and those who most desperately in need to be heard. It is especially important to make sure that those who are most affected by climate change, such as the young people who will have to deal with it the longest and the marginalized who are affected first, are being fairly represented in the voting process and involved in our democracy. So I see some amazing young folks here. We are the future, and together we can create an ecologically stable society. So now I'm going to make a little voter registration plug. You should register if you haven't. And also with the special election coming up, polling places in schools are still going, so those polling locations aren't going to be available. If you need to register absentee to compensate for that, you should. Also, Montana has same-day voter registration, which is pretty dope. So, lastly, Montana is going to need leaders like you to organize more actions like this, to pressure local government, and to run for office, to vote, to speak, and to exercise your rights and involve yourself in your politics. If you want to make a difference, find me to register to vote or sign up to get information on Forward Montana's summer and fall internships. And remember to vote in the special election on May 25th. And remember, this is a fight for your and for our futures. Thank you for having me.
Awesome, Hannah and Forward Montana, great work. So I'm going to bring up Haley, my colleague with Climate Smart Missoula, and she's got a few words to offer.
Hi, I'm Haley Jorgensen. I work with Amy at Climate Smart Missoula. Thank you so much for coming, you guys. Thank you for sticking around. I am the last person, so I promise it'll be over soon. I've been studying climate change since I was in high school myself, actually, and I did my undergrad at the University of Montana. I did environmental studies and climate change before moving to Oregon for a couple years, and I have to tell you, it is so good to be back in Missoula this year. This community is full of incredible and inspiring people working to make Missoula a healthy and vibrant community in the face of climate change. From all the amazing students and young leaders you've heard from today to the list of groups and organizations that have helped put this event together, Missoula is proof that no matter what our administration may say, we can make positive change happen locally, and it can make a difference. So as most of you know, this event is organized in solidarity with the People's Climate Movement based in Washington, D.C. Back in 2014, the People's Climate Movement organized what was then the largest climate march to take place, with over 400,000 people marching in New York City and beyond to demand bold and urgent action on the global climate crisis. Today, Missoula's Climate March and Rally is one of 375 sister marches happening across 6 continents and almost every state in the U.S. That is awesome. And there are other marches happening in Montana, which is super exciting. This is a hugely important issue to me, especially now, because climate change is so much more than just a change in weather. Being part of the People's Climate Movement, we are coming here today to demand action to advance solutions to the climate crisis rooted in social, racial, and economic justice. We are demanding action to protect our right to clean air, clean water, land, healthy communities, and a world at peace. We are demanding action to immediately stop attacks on immigrants, communities of color, indigenous and tribal people, lands, and workers, because we've seen how climate change disproportionately affects minority communities. We are demanding action to ensure public funds and investments create good-paying jobs that provide sustainable wages and benefits and preserve workers' rights. We are demanding action to fund investments in our community, people, environment, to transition to a new and clean, renewable energy economy that works for everyone.
And finally, we are demanding action to protect our basic rights to free press, protest, and free speech. These are all part of the message of the People's Climate Movement, and each of these issues is vital to moving forward on climate action. Looking around, I see such a vibrant and strong community. Together, we have the power to make positive change happen. Not only do we have the incredible organizations and groups that have been working on these issues for years, but we also have all these inspiring young leaders bringing new and innovative ideas to the table every day. To change everything, we need everyone, and I can't wait to see what we do together. Thank you for coming, guys.
Haley thought she was last, but I got Sean from Sussex, teacher at Sussex, is going to say a last few words, and then we're going to wind it down. Thanks everyone for listening and for these wonderful speakers.
And they really are wonderful speakers. I really appreciate all the young people who have spoken, and especially Sydney and Barrett, who came from Sussex. And I just wanted to piggyback on something that I think this young man Casey said about listening to different voices, different thinkers, and just say a little bit about the purple politics of climate, because this is the one issue that, I mean, it shouldn't even really be political because it literally affects all of us. But there's some issues with it. It's difficult to wrap your head around. It's a little different than issues we've had in the past. And in the past, environmental issues haven't always been a blue issue. It's been a purple issue. For instance, the EPA was, of course, created underneath President Nixon, a Republican. And the Montreal Protocol, which was the international agreement that was signed in the 80s to combat the ozone layer problems, was started during the Reagan administration. And so, that issue is inspiring because that was a time where the world did act on a large issue like this. Everyone got together, the scientists at the time said we have a problem. But the difference was that problem was an immediate biological problem, and so people could wrap their minds around it. And also, CFCs were an issue, but there wasn't so much business tied into it. So that was a little bit easier to lick than the problem we've got today. So be aware that it's a hard problem for some people to wrap their minds around, and that's okay, because the solutions are still something we can all agree on. And I just wanted to bring your attention to a wonderful activist. She's a Tea Party activist named Debbie Dooley, who is a climate change activist and is speaking to Tea Party conservatives about this issue. So, and she says, you just have to use different language. Talk about energy freedom. Talk about national security. The Pentagon's been saying forever that this is a national security problem. And talk about competition. Obviously, renewables are doing way better than the fossil fuels, which are being subsidized in many ways. So I just want to leave you with this. I know it's a pretty blue-looking crowd here, but I want to see Trump voters at the next climate march. Thank you very much.
Okay, so we've been challenged to do things, we've been challenged to talk to people, we've been challenged to get out and look at the world a little differently. And again, I just want to thank everyone for coming. Take the inspiration from these young people that were here today and do them justice. This is about justice. It's about making a just world for these young people. And we need to work together to create the world and be inspired and inspire all of you folks that spoke today. So again, thank you so much to Hellgate Save and to all of the speakers that came here today. There are some groups that are still kind of tabling and have information around the edges. There's also a Protect Our Winters is down at the Cares Park with a big festival, a fly fishing festival, so you're welcome to wander down there. The wonderful good things happening in Missoula today, so enjoy your afternoon. Thank you so much.